Well, today we renew an old rivalry with another English side in a Champions League, and this time it's a manager that's been an adversary for many a year. We also face a big game at the top of the Bundesliga, and that table is starting to get very interesting. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 140 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today to face the side who are top of the Champions League phase in Arsenal, and we're trying to chase them with Dortmund, and a win should see us through to the next phase. We also face Eintracht Frankfurt just 3 days later, and they are keeping pace in the Bundesliga title race. Bayern have had their first defeat of the season, and Leipzig, the side that stopped them, are now pushing on in the top four. So an awful lot to get through today and a lot of twists and turns to come. If you're looking forward to it, seeing how we get on in these two before a big run of games with Leipzig, Barca and Bayern away from home all coming up, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We've got 2 quick fire episodes to come in the next couple of days, so let's see how we're getting on. Because so far, it's not been a bad season. We are still struggling with squad depth and injuries a little bit. So Sniper came back after his 6-week injury and got injured within 20 minutes ago, and he's out for another month. So I think we're maybe seeing why he's not pushed on and become the greatest player in the world, because he's injury prone, he's made of glass. Let's have a look at the schedule though and see what has been happening. You were with me as we played the 2 toughest away games in Europe officially. We played the last 2 European champions, and late goals ended up costing us as we were beaten narrowly by City and then by a late glut of goals by Bayern Munich. But after that, we bounced back against poorer opposition. Mainz away from home, top half team but one of the worst defences in the league. Mulder got a brace, Gruznov got one, and Mugnai ended that goal drought after his infuriating display against Bayern Munich. He then got a brilliant brace against Napoli in the Champions League. They're not great, the Italian league has fallen away somewhat in this save. Against Augsburg before the international break, it was a pretty convincing display with Cardon and Gaeta getting the goals. And then a 3-1 win away at Duisburg at the weekend. A couple of players rested and more youngsters coming into the team. So Canales got one and Keeley got one. Martin Etzold, an 18-year-old Austrian striker, came off the bench and showed some class. So good to see young players coming in. We are trying to stick to that Dortmund principle. But these 2 games, we need everyone fit. And the fact that we've got these 3 tricky games in the space of 7 days, then we've got Barcelona and Bayern 3 days apart. I mean, the fixture scheduling hasn't been kind to us at the moment, but it will hopefully even out later in the year when on paper, we've got a relatively friendly run in Bayern aside. So today, the focus is on these 2, then we'll have Barcelona and Bayern away in the next episode. Then we'll have to leave it a long time. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to the end of the January window. What that relies on though, is winning one of these 2 Champions League games, because if we don't, we're not going to be secured our passage through, and then we probably have to show a game in January, which I don't want to. So let's see how we get on against Arsenal and Frankfurt. We are just 6 weeks away from the transfer window, and we are struggling a little bit with injuries. Sniper has been basically a walking injury since we got here. He's barely played football since August, and with 10 appearances out of about 20 so far, it's not really ideal. He's still out for another 2 weeks. He's going to miss all of these big games. Might just be back for the Bayern game in the second of the doubleheader in the next episode. Kelvin Santos, Leonid Gruznov and Koomson have all had knocks as well. We're very short in the attacking midfield areas, and that is why I'm so frustrated that Kraus got let go on deadline day. But let's go and move into the fixtures. We have got the youth player almost back who scored 2 on his debut as well. So there should be a little bit of depth for the bench again soon, even though the first 11 is not quite what we'd like it to be. So let's go through to the fixtures. We're playing Arsenal at home, and home advantage will hopefully make a difference and prevent a big defeat. If we look at the league table at the moment, as Arsenal, have they got any originals left? I don't think so. We know Palermo's brilliant, Ortner the same, Laverne the same. So there's going to be a lot of tests there. But let's go and have a look at the league phase at the minute. We are on 9 points. Arsenal are the only team with a perfect record. We're looking to stop that today. Let's go and get through to the team selection. We've got big decisions to make on the right-hand side of midfield. As you can see, we've been adjusting the squad a little bit in recent weeks and trying to get as many in as possible. The second team is showing as a result of that. We've got Johansson unavailable today, one of the young left-backs as well. Gruznov is maybe fit. Merville was rested at the weekend. He can come back in, thankfully. But we're not really anywhere near full strength, are we? I'll put Gruznov on the bench in case, but the idea is that he won't play. And even though we've got 10 subs listed there, if we're being fair, 4 of them are from the youth team and 1 of them is injured, 1 of them's a keeper. Leaves us with less than the 5 we need essentially, doesn't it? Let's have a look at the team we've got today because we're trying to work out what to do with this attacking midfield line. We've got no one who can really play on the right naturally without being a replacement in another position. So it's basically been between Canales and Mugnai so far. I played them that way round against Napoli, which worked really well. It worked the other way in the next league game and then hasn't worked either way since. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. We'll see how it gets on. The rest of the team, it virtually picks itself. Yes, we've got that big game against Frankfurt in 3 days, but I feel like we have to prioritise this at the minute. Steinker is, well, developing brilliantly at right back. He's now become first choice above Aubert. And are there any more youth players we can get on the bench? Because that would really help bolster our squad today. I'm getting the reports up, looking for 1.5 star players. Sutter is one of them, but there's so many players that play the same position. We're going to have to do it though, aren't we? Sutter will go on the bench and Gax will as well. That is the 12-man bench today, and 6 of them are from our B team, which is not ideal. This is the 11 in full then, if we get their selection info up. It is Elijah Smith in goal, Steinker and Van der Pluim at full-back with Merville and Lapo at centre-half. We've got Joaquin and Nkili at the midfield too, Canales and Mulder on the wings, and then Cardon behind Mugnai up front, but be aware of those with a heavy match load. I'm not as worried about Mugnai because Gruznov can come back in at the weekend, but Joaquin and Mulder are 2 we've got to take care of. Let's go and get through to the first half. Touch wood, fingers crossed, we can get a decent start, get a goal or 2 up, then we can rest people later on. Wishful thinking, eh? There's nothing like blind optimism. Well, a very strong Arsenal 11 with no English players, but a few familiar names on the bench. Azak Klishin, a sub-centre-half we managed at Manchester United. Adam Barrett, the other sub-centre-half we managed at Crystal Palace. And David Nash made his England debut under my management and then got in a strop because I didn't pick him for the Euros, which we won. Let's tell the lads to carry off their last performance though. We're going to get through the tunnel interview. We'll skip the music and all the pleasantries and we'll be back for the first half highlights. Well, how about that? 30 seconds in, we've got a free kick. We didn't even get to see the stats screen. And Keely's delivering the cross. It's headed away. Do not let us get hit on the counter. Joaquin mops up well. Cardon shot is blocked and it's cleared towards Ortner. Mulder's beaten to it. And this is the break we're worried about. The left back's not gone out to it. Van der Pluim eventually does, but will he hold his man off? Forces him back, which is good enough at this stage. And Pintado will carry over halfway to Pascual. Araujo, who we could have been managing for Brazil if we'd taken that job, into Laverne. It's a great ball, and he's volleyed over the bar. It was far too easy. They got in behind so comfortably. And to be fair, we could have been in trouble there. Hertha Berlin, one of the other German sides, conceded in the first minute. Could have been 2 of us at that rate. And Arsenal are pushing on again with Palermo. Edge of the box, chance to shoot over the bar, but we are looking very poor at the minute. Strasbourg ahead again. They are delivering. Those French sides are flying at the minute. And so are Arsenal. 5 minutes in and they're back on the prowl again. They're keeping the ball so well. They never play like this in England as Van der Pluim comes forward. We've nicked it high. He's got a man in the middle, but he's taken too long. Mulder gets it though. Crossing towards Araujo. Clears it away just before Mugnai got there. And Keely's nicked it on the edge of the box though. And he smashed it off the woodwork. Palermo brings it away. And the game is evening up. A dodgy 5 minutes for us. But since then we've bounced back. Why have we got a lower attendance for this than almost all the other games? I'm pretty sure Borussia Dortmund versus Arsenal would not garner a lower attendance than us against the bottom team in the Bundesliga. As Cardon puts the corner in, and there it delivers again. Set pieces are such a crucial part. And then Lapo at the back post, the experienced man, the 2 experienced men combining. And there is a very big goal for Dortmund. Half an hour gone at 1-0 up. Buying a 3 up on Spurs, and we're now on the front foot again with Steinker to Nkili. Will the goal give us confidence? Van der Pluim keeping the ball well to Joaquin. Great ball for Cardon. Tried the outside of the foot finish, just didn't get enough power or direction on it. It was straight into the goalkeeper's arms as Ramon goes back to him. Arsenal playing out from the back here, but will they beat us? Araujo to Deprisco, his centre-half partner, and they give the ball away there. Pascual recovers it, and now they've got a chance to break. It looked like we were going to nick it, and now they're on their way. They're forced backwards again, though. It's good pressing from us. Well nicked by Nkili on halfway. Mulder's out on the left. He's got two in support. Canales arriving at the back post too. Mulder across and it deflects in. A huge slice of fortune. As it comes off Araujo, it was fired across the box by Mulder. It took a massive wicked deflection, and the goalkeeper was beaten as a result. 2-0 to Dortmund. Half-time is here. We probably don't deserve that over the course of play, but a lead, I think, is fair. A dodgy 5 minutes we survived, and then the rest of it, it's been all Dortmund. As we go into the second half from the kickoff, we know Arsenal are going to go all-out attack now, and it's just whether we can hold on for the first 5 or 10. Not with missed headers like that. Laverne shoots. Elijah Smith does really well. Holds it as well, so there's no chance of a rebound. And now we hope things will calm down a bit. We've got to the final 20 minutes. There's not a lot going on. So I think now we've got to take off some of those tired legs and look ahead to the weekend. We've got Gaeta, who can replace Joaquin in midfield. Just be that ball winner for now as an extra centre-half almost. We're going to take Mugnai off, put Canales up front. Mugnai will be replaced by... Oh, I'm not sure actually. Maybe I leave them both because they're not playing well, but they're fit and they're playing in a victory. I'll just switch them round, see if that makes a difference. Cardon is going to have to come off the experienced man. Kotha makes his return from injury. Mulder will be replaced on the left by Ole Zola, one of the few first teamers available. A right back, Steinker's not been great. Aubert, again, one of the few first teamers we can bring on. And then really, it's the young centre-half who's in the first team squad, an injured Gruznov, or a number of reserve players. And I think we're just going to have to leave it. 4 changes made. A few of them will get a rest. Van der Pluim's natural fitness is fine. I'm a bit worried about Nkili though. So let's see if we survive this highlight. Then we'll think about the change, as it's been nicked by Ole Zola. Great run from him. He's taken it off the fullback. Got to the byline. Can't find the cross. He's forced back. Van der Pluim. Nkili to Kotha. Back to Gaeta. Curling effort just over. I really like that Kotha. I know we only saw him play once and he got 2 goals. Of course he's going to be popular. He just looks very good on the ball. Comfortable in possession. I'm looking at the change we can make for Nkili. I think Bingo is our only option, who, let's be honest, he's not Champions League standard, is he? He's the only player available, unless I could bring on Hakkiraj at right back and then maybe put him in midfield Aubert. I think we're going to do that. Hakkiraj for Nkili. Aubert will go in there. Which way round are they better? It makes no difference, so we'll just put them on the natural side. We've got 10 minutes to go. We're 2-0 up. We've basically got 6 defenders on now. And I'm hopeful that will see us over the line, if nothing else. We still lose the header from the set piece. That's gone over for a goal kick. And we're seeing a bit too much of this game for my liking. I'd really like it to calm down. As Van der Pluim plays out down the left to Olazola, but it's a poor ball. We're giving it away, playing out again. Pintado beaten to the challenge by Gaeta, and Aubert nicks it too. Mugnai to Canales. Good football from Koffa under pressure again. Gaeta over the top to him. Canales is going to seal the game. Luis Canales into the bottom corner. It is 3-0 to Borussia Dortmund. It is a fantastic result against Arsenal. And that should see us through in the Champions League, which crucially means that when we've got Bayern next month, we can rest players against Barcelona. In January, we can focus on the league because we're through, and that's all that matters. A great result, not the best performance at times, but we deserve the win. Canales back in the goals, a wicked own goal, and a set piece. The blend of all the things I love. Let's tell the lads that was good work, and now we see who's fit for Frankfurt in 3 days' time. This win will be pointless if we don't get something from that one. Well, we're back now to look at what has become the most important message every week. It is fitness test time. It is, well, not great news to be honest. No Znaiba, no Koomson, but Leonid Gruznov probably can come off the bench if need be. Let's go and get through to the fixtures. It's first v third with Bayern having, well, a home banker on paper, quite frankly. And what I'm hoping is that if we can win this, we turn it into a 2-horse race and then don't have to worry about the rest. Bayern will win their game. We've got a massive game with them next month. But let's see if we can put Frankfurt to the sword. We're going into this one with probably a couple of changes. But is everyone fit from the midweek game? Basically, Mulder's struggling a little bit. But we've got a first teamer on the bench who can come on after an hour or so if need be. And then looking at the rest of it, we take the 2 people back out of the reserves and we're going to go for Johansson into the squad. He will replace, who's that holding midfielder? Bingo, isn't it? He'll come out of the squad. And then we're going to bring Gruznov onto the bench for maybe the goalkeeper. I'm looking at the bench and trying to balance it out. And obviously Etzold is the obvious candidate, but we haven't really got a striker option. So I'm going to take him out. We're going to gamble on no goalkeeper today. And Mulder is going to start despite not quite being fit. That means it's exactly the same 11 as midweek. We're going to switch Mugnai and Canales. So we've got the big man through the middle. He is the superstar. He is the big goal scorer. We've got to get him up front. I'm sorry. There has to be a way around it. The rest of the team stays the same. It's just a change tactically. Let's admit the team is first v third. I'd really like to get a win here. We're just the one change for Frankfurt, who are benefiting a bit from the fact that they've not got European football this year. Perhaps why they're so competitive. But let's get through the dressing room. Let's tell the lads to prove a point. Go on, get them motivated. Out you go. Give it everything and let's have a fast start. Because we know we're not the best finishers to a game. So it'd be good to get a 2 or 3 goal lead. And again, it allows us to bring those younger players on then. Bayern aren't playing till later, so we can put real pressure on them if we get a victory. But so far, it's been a very quiet 20 minutes. No highlights, no goals, no shots on target. Let's encourage the lads, push them on a bit. Are we having a European hangover? I really hope not. The Steinker has got a throw on the right. It's a poor one. Great diving header away from Eric, but it's won back by Van der Pluim for Nlapo. Wide to Steinker on the right. What a find he's been this season. As Joaquin goes back to Nlapo again. Steinker on the right. Great ball for Canales. In one-on-one. Oh, he loves that. I've got to say, I'll have to check if it's one of his preferred traits, but he loves that little dink over the goalkeeper. Let's go and find it. Has he got that? He likes to round the keeper. So I've seen players before who have got likes to lob goalkeeper who always round them. Now we've got a player who likes to round the keeper but always lobs them. Maybe they're just mixed up on there. As Mugnai has got a free kick. Oh, off the woodwork. Not a bad effort. But with a 1-0 lead at home, I'm relatively confident. I say as now Frankfurt have got a corner. It's going to be a big ball into the back post. We're going to have to deal with this. Smith does really well, but it's only as far as Thorup. And Michael shoots just over. We survive it. Good goalkeeping, Elijah Smith. And we retain our lead. But I think that proves maybe we will need a second goal. Well, at half-time, it is still 1-0. We've had the only shot on target in this game. And we are still ahead. But with a few tired legs and a few poorer performers, this second half could get tricky. Would be really nice if we could get a second goal so I could make some tactical and, well, energy changes, to be honest. We're going to call them energy subs now. We've got half an hour remaining and Frankfurt are away down the right. If they equalise, I don't fancy us for this game. Deflected cross to the edge. Oh, my word. I have not seen that too often. Massive bicycle kick from outside the box. Thankfully, it went well wide, but not the sort of animation we want to be seeing when we're only 1-0 up. As Eric clears it away, Carden wins a header. Mulder back for Carden and Van der Pluim. We're going to have to sub both of them in a minute. As Mulder's cross deflects, it almost catches the keeper out. Messina just tips it over the bar. And now we've got that corner with Cardon. Go on, back post, head it in. 2-0 and subs to be made. And Lapo's up. Can't win it. It's headed away. Van der Pluim recycles it. And it's nothing doing. We're going to see this highlight out. Then we will make the subs. Because Cardon, Mulder are knackered. Joaquin struggling. We're going to have to do it. And Keeley chips over towards Mugnai, who beats his man into Cardon. He's got a tap in. Goalkeeper somehow missed it. I don't know what he was doing. It looked like it was going straight to him. But thankfully it's gone through. It is 2-0 to Borussia Dortmund. And now with 20 to go, we can relax and make the subs. Again, I'm not worried about Mugnai. If he doesn't stay fit, it doesn't matter. We're going to go Cardon off for Kothert, the youngster. We're going to bring Olaizola on for Mulder. Joaquin off for Gaeta. In fact, Johansson can come on this game, can't he? Not sure which way round they're better. Probably like that. Van der Pluim at left back's not doing the best. Could be Gaeta on for him, actually. And then Merville out there instead. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. He never gets a rest, so we've got to look after him. Gaeta centre half, Merville left back. And we'll save the last sub in case of injury or just in case we need to make something later on because we don't want to be left with 10 men in this game. As it stands, it looks like we're going to pull off an efficient win. I wouldn't say it was comfortable. I wouldn't say it was convincing because, let's be honest, we've only had 2 shots on target. But we've done the job. And now, we're 10 to go. I'm going to bring on Orbert for Steinker, who's on a yellow card. more defensive option, more solid, and to be fair, a bit more experience, no yellow card. It just makes sense to be sensible. We've got 5 minutes to go. It looks like we've prevented a threat from Frankfurt, which I guess is the main positive from today. We weren't brilliant ourselves, but in the end, it looks like now we have got 2 expected goals and we probably have done the job well enough. As Orbert switches it to Merville. Can we get a late third to put some gloss on it and keep chasing that Bayern goal difference? As Nlapo into Nkili. Great game, he's had the experienced man. Out to Olezola. Chance to cross, but it's back to Merville. Into Johansson, the youngster. Crosses to Mugnai, and he taps in with the final kicks of the game. I say that, there's still 2 minutes stoppage time to go. But Mugnai is starting to find the goal, and that's helpful. A bit of support for Canales, and 2 strikers in scoring form. Great play from the youngster Johansson. The future is looking bright, but the experienced players are still starring. Let's get through the dressing room. We're very happy with that. We'll see what the Bayern Munich result is, and then find out when we're going to return. Well, it's not quite the perfect weekend we were hoping for, because Bayern do nick 3 points, but they only nick them. We catch the goal difference up slightly. We close that gap to 2. But it is now a 2-horse race in the Bundesliga, which is what we were hoping to create. We're 3 points clear of Bayern, with the big games away at Leipzig and them coming up. And Frankfurt are now 9 points behind, which should signal the end for their challenge. But if we go and have a look at the schedule, we will be back very quickly again. We've got a tricky game against Leipzig in midweek, and then Paderborn, who just did well against Bayern next weekend. But then we have got a huge doubleheader coming up. Barcelona away in the Champions League. I've got to show that trip, haven't I? And then Bayern Munich away in the Bundesliga. We saw what happened against them in the Cup a few weeks ago. What on earth will happen this time? It is massive in the title race. It is possibly a title decider. So I hope you'll come and join me for it to see how we get on. Hopefully some of our stars will be back fit for that one. We can rest some players the 2 games before it. If you're looking forward to seeing how we go, and you did enjoy this episode with 2 very good and convincing 3-0 wins, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM23 content, with the Builder Nation returning tomorrow. There's also a fun video coming on Sunday as I react to your best FM superstitions after my top 3 last weekend. You can find all the playlists in the eye above, as well as the football podcast and the blog channel as well. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. We're back on the winning trail and things are looking good. But will I be saying that at the end of the next one? I'll see you there to find out.